if you're halfway interested to know what the struggles are like as a home haunter and doing all this crap in the weather, stay tuned, because I'm about to update you on what happened over the past 4 days.
What you want? What you want?
Number one thing I want to note, the facade, it's still up. Last Saturday is when it all started. And here in Kansas, we started having basically sustained winds or wind gusts one after the other, like no real breaks in between, of 30 to 40 mile an hour, 24 hours a day. Generally, when it gets windy this time of year around here, as soon as the sun goes down, it quits being so windy and things, go back to normal. And if I had a little bit of an issue after those winds went down, then I might go repair, do whatever, and move on. However, it never, ever stopped. So there was a big foam pumpkin thing out front next to the fence over there. I think you can see it in the video, maybe not. I'll show it to you in a minute. Anyway, that guy blew down the street 3 or 4 times, like half a block away. We chased him more than once, brought it back and said, screw it. And I went and hit him. So winds are blowing, it's knocking stuff off. I lost a tombstone because it fell apart, whatever. Then Monday hits and the storms come. So now the wind hasn't let off. We still have all the wind, and now it's raining like, what was it, 2 to 4 inches or something like that, or even better, between Monday and Tuesday, or both. I don't remember, but it was pouring and it was windy. And this morning is Tuesday morning. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the wind was blowing so hard that the house was just making noise. And I knew everything was going to be just toast, but it's not too bad. So, in the witches area, tree down, tree down, tree down. And these trees had, little bodies in them. So, 1, 2, 3 trees down. 4 trees down, 5 trees down. So 5 trees down. Basically, for sure, every tree that had something like this in it fell over. Witch completely down. Witch completely down. And let me tell you the thing that sucks about this witch. Because this witch is one of my favorite witches. Because she has this face. I made her like 7 years ago. I even painted those eyeballs. She's all paper mache clay over a foam armature. Anyway, she's lasted. And looky here. When she fell, this left hand, it broke this. It ripped those fingers off, which I didn't know. So I've got to find those fingers. But what I did know is her left hand holds on to the broom. The broom has a piece of rebar that goes through the ground and goes up into a hole I drilled in the center of the broom. The hand, basically with the broom stuff, held her into place, right? So she always had a lot of tension on that old hand when the wind would get to blowing instead of her turn sideways or whatever. It held it into place. This witch over here just has one piece of PVC in the center. When the wind blows, she just turn around. This girl stayed in place. Yes, I know her hand's made out of paper mache. However, she has lasted almost 8 years. And the wind was so strong, it ripped her hand in half. It freaking ripped her hand in half. In half! I don't have time to repair this hand. I don't have time to pull it apart, glue it together, mache magic it, and repaint the thing. So, I think I'm just going to stand her back up, put her hand kind of, a little bit back together, maybe put some glue on it, make some rope. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I'm just gonna, you know, rig her hand to look like it's still a hand, right? And maybe in the dark, you won't notice that her hand's plumb ripped apart. And get a look at this fence. I don't know if you can or not. Well, this old foam fence, she's down low to the ground. Just about blew the fence over. I almost lost the fence. If you'll remember from the videos, there was a scarecrow guy here and a scarecrow guy here. There's no longer scarecrow guys there. That's because one's down here, and that's not his head. His head is way over there. And that one's down over there, and his head's over here. The facade handled it just fine. The old pumpkin spider up here, which I don't think I ever sealed this thing. Because when I originally made it, it went into a bar. I really don't think I ever sealed it, but he's held up real good. All these pumpkins, of course, still the same. They held up real well. I'll tell you what, though, if you guys have been following me, this is the pumpkin I made from the wood clay. He's awesome. I mean, he holds up to weather freaking amazing. He does great. This guy's still intact. The little things I made the other day, that glue I used, it's just craft glue or whatever. It wasn't any kind of real good construction adhesive. Yeah, we got enough rain to just wash that stuff off, and now it's just a black thing. Same thing with the other one over there that looked pretty decent the other day. It's just now a black cloth. I'll probably just gather up a bunch of leaves, because now basically all the leaves are down, and I'll throw them over the tops of those. And then we got all this stuff right here. It's still kind of up there. It's pulled away. That's pulled away. The other side's way worse. So I gotta stick all that stuff back together, put it back up, you know, and fix it. So anyway, it's time for me to get to fixing this stuff instead of just sitting around complaining that Mother Nature tore it all down. Tree is up. Tree, witch, boom, look at that. Oh, they're back up. It's all back up. Skelly right there. Yeah, he's back up. Fence, it's still crooked. Who cares? So I've got to show you the dirty way. She is going to have to, I'm either going to have to make complete new witches, which I probably really should, or I'm going to have to redo her hands. But I'll show you, this is not good, but it's going to hold up for Halloween. So that hand that was ripped all the way in half, I zip tied it and then ran electrical tape around it just so I could secure the arm to the hand. At night, lit up, it almost looks like a black glove, you know, fingerless glove on it or whatever. What a horrible way to do something, but it's working, right? And then I'll show you. I'm such a cheater. I'll show you this other hand. So half of her hand broke off, knuckles. I just zip tied a skull to it. Zip tied that skull to it underneath the lights. Looks like she's just holding the skull. You can't even tell her hands broke off. So, you know, quick fixes. It works for Halloween. It's going to be a good year. All right, real quick, I'm gonna take some time to do a little self-promotion right now, especially if this is the first time you come across this channel. All my videos aren't like this, right? This is Halloween, just putting things together. What I can show you is all the things that are in this yard that I actually do have either some kind of video that shows how it was built or true tutorial on them. There is a tutorial on this guy. I think it's called how to make a zombie, something like that. But it's like 4 videos, I think, and it should be in playlist. There's kind of a how-to on this on YouTube. This guy, that if you've done this up before, you can figure out how to do it. Although I have a much more detailed tutorial on Patreon for those guys to build this thing. There is not really a tutorial on this guy, but there is some progression as I built him. Can't remember what those videos were. This groundbreaker right here, full tutorial on him. It's like a 4 or 5 video. Everything from the structure all the way through. This tombstone right back here, there is a full tutorial on how to make this tombstone. It's made out of paper mache using pizza boxes down there and cereal boxes and stuff. And this thing is like 7 or 8 years old. I didn't foam fill it on the inside, which maybe I probably should have, but it's still, that still looks pretty good for being out here for 8 years or better or more or whatever it was. I can't remember when I published. It's been a good 7 to 8 years. And that old stone there has been through the weather and everything else. It's holding up really good. This pumpkin right here and this pumpkin right here. You can find a tutorial on that called How to Make Pumpkins with Cotton Balls, I think is how it is. Or did something, yeah. Cotton ball pumpkins, whatever. I think there's a 2 or 3 step tutorial. It's just a different variation on how to make pumpkins. I don't do cotton balls all the time. I just thought it was a different, neat idea how to do those things. And that one was a live class. When you guys follow along on cotton ball pumpkins, so you guys watch live class, you should do that one. Okay, these guys down here don't really have tutorials on those, but hang on. I do have like a couple tutorials on making paper mache pumpkin. There's one that I put out years ago. I'll show you. It's funny that this thing's even still here. It was actually this guy who has over time fallen down, but he still made it. He's not built as well as those guys. So yeah, there's an actual tutorial on that pumpkin just called How to Make a Paper Mache Pumpkin. Then there's a tutorial, a 3-step or 4-step tutorial on, it's labeled what I called my 2nd generation pumpkins, which you don't really see any of them out here, except the fact that the way I've done the clay and stuff on these is more like the 2nd generation pumpkin, right? The 2nd generation pumpkin is a fatter on the bottom and it's oblong, taller deal. And I made that video a long time ago, and a lot of people like it. And I actually sold quite a few of those. They had a real neat look to them. They were different than what anybody else was doing at the time. So you can find those tutorials on there too. These littler dudes down here, the way I made these is a little bit different than the 2nd generation pumpkins. I don't have tutorials on how I've done that, and I probably should. I mean, I don't know, I'm going to bore everybody with pumpkin tutorials, but there's several different ways to make pumpkins. It's not all just one way, and one way is the right way. Those down there are done with a mache base and then clay on top, but they're fast because they do them different. So I should probably do a tutorial on that and do that on the clay side on that, because it's much faster than the way I've done them in the past, and the results are still just as good. Oh, and I had someone, I can't remember, the film was, I had someone ask, they saw, I did a tutorial on how to make sawdust wood clay, which I need to make some more of it because it works really well. And I made a pumpkin out of it, and I was asked how it's holding up. Well, this right here is that wood clay pumpkin. It's amazing how well this thing holds up. Amazing. Oh, yep. And then we got a tutorial on this. And like when it comes to rain, these guys were out. Everybody always asked how they hold up. These guys were all out in the rainstorm that knocked everything else down. They're still here. They're not mush. They didn't go away. You can do this stuff and put it out. If you seal it properly and you've got a good structure underneath, you can put these things out and enjoy them for years. If tutorials are something you're interested in, and you just landed on this video by chance and you want to maybe pursue making some of this stuff yourself, go to the channel, dig down a little deeper. If you'll see, I've created playlists. In those playlists, that's where you'll find most of all the sets of the tutorials, and go through them. They're long, some of them are long, but I really tried to do my best to explain every little bitty detail and nuance, to let you know what you're going to go through to get it done. I believe you should be able to follow one of them from the beginning, step by step, and create something that you've never done before. Let me end this one like this. Once again, always, you patrons that are there, you guys are amazing. You guys that continue to come back and watch, you're amazing as well. And to all you guys out there that are haunting and doing haunts and doing stuff like this, have a good fun Halloween, enjoy it, make memories. I mean, this is what it's all about, really, is memories for the kids, right? At least that's why I do it. There used to be a house here in town that did some stuff not quite this big, but it was enough. And as a kid, I thought it was awesome, right? And I look forward to it all the time. It made memories. We're making memories. That's what we're really doing all this stuff for. So you guys have a great Halloween. Have fun. Stay safe. And if you went through some weather and it broke that stuff, hopefully you get it all repaired and you're back up and running. But until then, keep making something from nothing.